Tesla has the announcement today, the 15th of November 2020, that it will be entering the S&P. And we wanted to just say congratulations to all of you who've remained steadfast and loyal to the company and its prospects. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. Thanks once again for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're a repeat visitor, welcome back. Very exciting day today. Shocker of the day. We uh, we want to thank our Patreon supporters. We actually we have a every day of the week online show that we do for support, and we're able to get uh, sort of the info out that we're really looking for a catalyst for the stock. And what better catalyst than the fact that Tesla has now entered the S&P? So we just want to say congratulations to the company. Congratulations to all of you that have been waiting for this. And we're super excited. The main, well, there are a few components of it. First of all, one of the big discussions that was going on is the fact that um, would Tesla be allowed in given the issues that S&P seem to be having with how they're managing their accounting of EV credits? It looks like, I guess, finally things have worked out in favor of the gap accounting rules that Tesla's been applying, and the fact that they had good numbers have continued to show up in the latest quarter. So I think that's obviously great news. We did not expect, I actually thought based on the lack of success getting in with the 4 quarters of earnings in the manner that they were doing it was still going to be a problem until they fully had shifted over their accounting to a different structure than they were doing. But clearly, you know, they've worked it out with the S&P and they're now headed in. What should we expect from here? Well, in theory, there's about a 20% increase in the value of the stock that should come with this. So in theory, we've had a 9% jump so far as the stock is up about $50 since this announcement this afternoon. This kind of suggests somewhere between $500 and $600 is where the stock is headed, anticipatory of when it enters the S&P in December. Now, what's strange here is usually, at least from what I've seen, the gap between when the announcement is and when the transition occurs is kind of short. The fact that they're making it over a month long sort of introduces, I think, a lot of potential for different things to happen in between. I don't think there's perhaps anything really bad. What I was thinking about, though, is that if you want to minimize the impact of the rising of the stock price before the entry, in theory, you would make that time frame gap very short. That way you could do the announcement, have a few days occur, enter the markets, we're done. But I think that as we leave a lot more time and a lot more analytics to go on and people to get sort of on the train, I think this lends itself to, instead of maybe the 20% rise that might be appropriate, we could see even a 30 to 40% rise where we're pushing the stock now up by over 100 into the $200 a share range. I actually took the time to call up one of the analysts, Brandon, that we use for our show to just get his look. And he threw out a few ideas that I kind of don't agree with, but I generally wanted to share with all of you what he shared. The first thing he talked about was he thought this might be one of those issues where you have a candle that bounces up very high in terms of the stock price, and then all of a sudden there's a back end to that. That's the downside. So that's one of the suggestions that he made could occur. He also threw out the idea that sort of that December 20th date might be a critical one to focus on, given that once the stock enters, it's a different environment. So in theory, you might want to buy on the rumor, sell on the news to avoid perhaps the back end of that curve. I happen to have a different opinion. I think that the stock is going to run nicely. I also think that what we're really waiting on is that there's a there's a $30 trillion pool of capital that's now exposing itself to Tesla shares. So I believe what will happen is that, yes, we'll get a spike of the stock price up, and something in that 20 to 30% range probably makes sense. But I kind of don't see the crash on the back end, because once that money is allowed to and does come in, it's going to hold the stock price up nicely. It was mentioned that as Tesla enters, it'll be one of the top 10 companies in the S&P once it enters. And so this is another variable, I think, that will be supportive of the stock. I guess, one of the things that we're going to be digging into in our analysis to support those of you who are interested in investing and trading in it is, you know, what's going to happen, after we get in the S&P. Let's look at walking through possible scenarios. In particular, if the stock price spikes a lot and then enters, does it remain at the prices it entered? Is that the buy price point for all the entities that now are required to buy? And how long is it before they start buying? I think this is appropriate for the 3-day rule we've discussed, where about 3 days in is when all the analysts and the large funds are able to sort of gather themselves and prepare and implement what they're going to do. So I'm, uh, I guess I'm fascinated. I'm kind of shocked because I was expecting this to take a lot longer, and obviously they can't telegraph this. Otherwise, a lot of people could make a lot of money with this information before it hits. And keeping an eye on Tesla, seeing it roll towards 400 has not been thrilling. So it's exciting to see a boost in the shares getting ready for this S&P. I would say if you can get some shares in the after hours, you may want to do that, because I think Tesla's going to go on a run over the next 3 to 4 trading days that could be dramatic. And I think it's an opportunity for all of you, all of us, to make some money on this. And I hope you do, because it's nice to see people rewarded who've been supportive of the success of the company over time. So I think that, this is an exciting time for Tesla owners, the company, the shareholders, the vehicle owners. This is definitely a wonderful time, and we're super excited about this. I have to say, if you were trading the stock, obviously you're doing well. I think some long-term leaps might be a good idea uh, as a way to play this. But I don't think $50 sort of does justice to where we're going. I think we're going much higher, definitely 500, maybe even 600-ish, in the 650 range, I think is definitely a possibility. So let's back the truck up and load as much up as you can and hang in there, because this is a huge opportunity for a lot of us to make a few dollars if you can. Um, Not a bad idea to hedge your position a little bit, just in case the market volatility from the presidential issues or other things come in and play a factor. They shouldn't, but it's not. It's prudent to always be prepared. So just a sample of, some hedging, I think, is not a bad idea here. I would also say that, you know, we have a story we're working on relative to the Model Y in China, and we see this as being the next sort of catalyst run for Tesla. And so we'll keep you posted on our that show we'll have out tomorrow regarding what's going on in China with the Model Y, and what we're expecting in terms of numbers coming out of China for that vehicle as we head into that period. So don't really have a lot to add to this today. I'm just super excited because we finally have a catalyst for the company that makes sense, and having the S&P money roll in and sort of double the buying public for the stock is terrific. And I think this is going to be a beautiful partnership that a lot of our long-term Tesla holders are going to be thrilled about. So that ends our formal discussion of the S&P entry by Tesla. The next thing we wanted to review is just our usual health tips. I often, so there's a doctor from University of Michigan, Dinesh is his last name. He's an MD PhD. He's probably our number one health tip that people ask about. And what he suggested you do is sit in a chair with a 5-pound weight on your ankle. You then extend your leg um, up and down 25 times for both legs. Ankle weights are cheap. Walmart, $10, same thing at Amazon. The idea behind it is that you strengthen the quad muscles, reducing the chance of knee issues that have to be operated on, etc., as you age. So very simple, sit in a chair, and then with the 5-pound weight around your ankle, just lift that leg up 25 times, same thing for the other side. So we have these health tips at the end of each show. The next one is from our University of Louisville upper respiratory cancer doc, who recommended do not go to bed within 2 hours of eating, preferably 4. Allowing the food to digest before you go to bed causes the stomach acids that are digesting the food to not digest you. The third thing that we have on our list commonly is, prior to lovemaking, a salad, way better than having a very large meal, because blood flow is what's required in lovemaking space and in the digesting of food space. So if all the blood flow is going to one, not the other, you don't have access to that blood flow to enjoy yourself more. We usually do 5 health tips. Being long-winded today in terms of covering how and why we have each of these, and so a little bit self-conscious about that. One other one would be just continuity on sleep. The more sleep you get that's well orchestrated, the better your body will react and successfully manage that sleep. So try to go to bed at the same time every night, even during the weekends. And I think you'll find that you get better rest that way, because your body gets into what's called a circadian rhythm. So I was a part of a research group at Stanford that focused on it's the sleep clinic there, but it's sleep apnea, some of the issues that we covered, et cetera. So I guess that would be the other tip for today is same time to bed, allowing the body to choose what time it wants to wake up every day, and then building your schedule around that is a strategically wise move. At any rate, we want to thank you for taking time out to join us today. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Congratulations to those of you who are shareholders. Tschüss German, au revoir French, Lehit Road, Hebrew, Choda Hafez Farsi. Assalamu alaikum, Muslim, Ni hao ma, Chinese, Heng hao, Zdravstvuyte, Russian, Dobrogenia, Polish, Konbanwa, Japanese, and in Jamaica we say enough respect, walk good man. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day. Bye for now, and buy some stock.